Ready for Valentine's Day on The Good Dish?
With a big, crazy chocolate show.
We're your go-to for decadent desserts with chocolate master Jacques Torres. The perfect romantic meal.
Ooh, we are smoking on Valentine's Day.
Even edible chocolate decor.
Brilliant.
And tradition with loved-up Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay.
From the moment I met Brian, we just had a vibe, and then that kiss.
That's next.
Let's dish. The kitchen has always been at the center of my world because life is more delicious when it's full of food and fun. Everybody knows me as a culinary expert and food judge on television, but also I'm just a mom trying to get dinner on the table.
From Hollywood to home, I bring Southern sweet and Caribbean heat, and I'm not afraid to stir the pot.
Good food, good friends, good dish. Yes. Oh, look at all this glorious chocolate. Welcome to The Good Dish and happy Valentine's Day. Clearly, we are dealing with everyone's favorite way to celebrate Valentine's Day with a big, crazy chocolate show. All the kinds, all the ways. Now, it's not just that chocolate is delicious. Chocolate has also been considered an aphrodisiac dating back to the Aztecs. It is said to contain a substance that inflames desire. I will be the judge. Just kidding, it does. It works.
All right. You're feeling desirable now?
I'm feeling highly desirable right now.
That chocolate fountain is highly desirable. Always, right? Now, but let's be real. Whether you have a Valentine to cozy up to tonight, or you're hanging with your friends, or you got chocolate on your
Who am
face
I?
partying just by yourself.
What's wrong with me?
It's always a reason to celebrate. Oh my God.
Just partying by yourself with chocolate on your face, people.
That's how you should do it, right?
Nothing says desirable like a chocolate mustache.
You know what? It's real and it's beautiful. Here,
Keep the party going, ladies. Don't let me
this is a little damp. Let me give you a damp cloth.
Moving right along. Keep going.
All right.
Well, there is no sweeter expert to join us for our amazing chocolate show today than award-winning master pastry chef and chocolatier, Mr. Chocolate himself, Jacques Torres. For moi.
Voilà, oui, bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
We love you too.
Thank you.
This is the kind of friend you need. He brings us chocolate. He brings us a gorgeous smile. He doesn't laugh at me for having chocolate all over my face.
Just leave it there, casual.
Oh my gosh.
Chef, we are all clearly very excited to see you. And of
Thank
course,
you.
all the beautiful things you brought us today. You made all of these showpieces, of course. You're known for them. And
I'm
I
very
know-
happy to be here, I have to say.
Wow, they are
Merci
beautiful.
beaucoup.
They are beautiful. Can you just explain to us the process of these? Like, how long does it take you to make a chocolate showpiece like
It
this?
does take few hours, and the process is always melting the chocolate, then you have to temper the chocolates, put all the molecular fat together, and then you're going to spread it on a mold or on a piece of paper, then you're going to carve it, and then you're going to cut it, and then assemble it.
And if anything breaks, you get to eat the chocolates.
You
right?
melt it and you do it again. You know,
There
that's
we
pretty
go.
much what's happened.
So we at The Good Dish do believe that a way to someone's heart is through their stomach, of course. So talk to me about edible chocolate. How much chocolate do you go through every year?
How much do I eat or how much do I go through?
Both.
Going
No.
through certainly 150, 130 tons of chocolate that we
Tons.
buy, and then we transform that. So when you add the almonds and the pistachio and the hazelnuts and all the things and the cream, then you go to 250 tons maybe. So we use quite a bit of chocolate, yes.
Now, you did bring along these beautiful looking chocolate flowers, and they kind of look a little complicated, especially if you're not super crafty in the kitchen, which I am not. But you, Jacques, say that anybody can make these
Yeah,
flowers.
I think that the most beautiful and meaningful gift is something that you do for your loved one.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be complicated, as long as you do it and you make it with love. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So instead of using mold and make it complicated, I just use balloon, and I love to do that. And basically, you're going to do that with me?
I will gladly.
You take the balloon this way and you dip it. You create 3 petals. 1, 2, and 3. You see? Then tap, reverse it, and put it here. And then we put it
in your accent. I do 1, I do 2.
I love your accent.
3 and tap.
Tap. That's it. And then now you put it on a paper. Okay. So that will go into the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's
and
all.
then you can do it with white chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate color with red.
Yes.
And then you get what we have here.
There you go.
Beautiful.
And then,
Look at those.
I think, Gail, I have a knife over there.
You got it.
Okay. So then all you have to do
the fun
is...
part.
I'll let you do that.
Oh, I get to do it.
Go ahead.
All right,
pop it.
and...
Boom, bingo. So...
You got it. I know, we're like
I mean,
surprised this
you
happened.
see how easy it is. Sometimes because the balloon was on the paper, you will have a little hole on the bottom. Doesn't matter. So you can pop them whole. Okay. Okay. So it's a little bit warm, so the red melt a little bit, but otherwise all the other one are okay.
that's fine.
And basically what you want to do is you can layer 3 balloons together or 3 shell together, and you will get a beautiful flower. Don't leave the latex balloon
No
in, that's
balloon
not
in
good.
there. No, won't
Okay.
see that.
And then you can put that inside, and then you have, a flower. Now,
I mean, that's
Look at this.
It is.
now, if you want to, you can dip some chocolate, some strawberry. I see that you have beautiful strawberry.
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that, actually.
You can dip the strawberry into chocolates, and then you can put them into your cup, and that's a beautiful way of presenting them. Or we can make a very fast chocolate mousse.
I think that's a
Jump
great
right in
idea.
So one thing you see to whisk here, the cream going to whisk faster if the whisk has more wire. So if you put 2 whisk or even 3, then the cream
Wait,
will
I've
whisk.
never seen that trick before.
This is so great because, and you go really 2 times or 3 times faster. So if you have big hands, you put 3 in your hands, and then that's it. You go very fast.
Wow, 2
So,
at a time.
Solid.
Brilliant.
so when that's done, I'm going to use, so be careful. That's about 120 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's warm.
Yeah.
That's cold. So what you want to do is put about 1/3 of the cream into the hot chocolate. Don't do the opposite. That's very important. So it's half quarts of cream for 7 ounces of dark chocolates. And then when it's no more cream remaining or white, then you stop it and then you have it. So I think that's a very easy way to make a chocolate mousse. And Gail, if you want to, you know what we're going to use? We're going to use a simple one
big
like
one.
that.
Sure, good idea.
Okay. And maybe put a little bit of the, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I don't want to make a mess.
Okay.
Get it in.
Try and
Yeah,
do it
look at that.
gingerly. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Good idea, yes.
Can I borrow Jacques while you fill up those beautiful
Please.
molds? And let's
Oh
talk.
my God, look at that.
I'm practicing.
You did it, you did it.
I really just nailed it on the first try. I want to talk about these cacao pods because, first of all, they look like something out of Dr. Seuss. And this is what they look like when you cut them in half. Look at the inside of these things, these slimy, huge seeds inside. Talk to me about the process.
So
to get from
what's
here to
happening
chocolate.
is those pod, it's called a cacao pod, those pod already dry and brown. So those pod going to be cut in half, that's going to be removed, and that's going to be ferment for 5 to 7 days. And what's going to happen is the pulp around the cacao beans going to ferment and give the flavor to the cacao beans.
That's interesting.
So that's very interesting, yes. And then they get dried and put into those giant burlap bags. And then they're going to be sent to the countries where we make the chocolates.
Okay.
So when we receive the cacao beans, we're going to put them into a roaster. And then when they are roasted, we put them into another machine called a winnower. The winnower is going to separate the shell from the nibs. The nibs is the roasted cacao beans, the inside of the roasted cacao beans. So we're going to grind that into a paste, add a little sugar, maybe a little cocoa butter, and we put it in a machine called a refiner, and a conch, that's going to make it smoother, for maybe 24 to 48 hours, and the chocolate is ready. So it's a long process, very mechanical.
It's not easy being this delicious. I love that. Thank you for that lesson. I just love knowing where my food comes from.
And those strawberries.
Oh, you guys, I made it easy for you to succeed where I failed before, so please enjoy these. Up next, we are making cocoa rubbed pork chops with cherries. It is the perfect Valentine's Day meal, and Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay is in her home kitchen. She's joining us in just a few minutes. Lots to dish with her about. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Like something you saw on the show today? We're dishing all the details on the good list. All the recipes, important tips, and tricks, all in one place. So stay tuned until the end of the show when we'll share the good list QR code. You can scan to send it all right to your phone.
Welcome back to the Good Dish Crazy Chocolate Show, but it's not all dessert. We're about to show you how you can incorporate a dusting of chocolate into a savory meal. It's what's for dinner tonight. Jamaica, please go ahead and dish the details on cocoa rubbed pork chops with cherries. Ooh, this looks delicious.
Now this is the dish that's gonna earn you a few cuddle points, if you will, because this is gonna blow. Whoever gets to eat this is gonna blow them away, guaranteed, okay? So we're starting with a thick cut pork chop. And then we have to do our rub. So various of spices here and this is cocoa powder going in first. And we have a little bit of cinnamon. And we have some coriander, a little thyme. This is a nice, easy rub that you can do in advance. Little cayenne pepper. If they can't take the heat, then they shouldn't be with you on Valentine's Day. So throw it in there. And a little bit of brown sugar. And you'll just mix all of this up together. And I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper too. And you can sprinkle it on top. Now we're gonna go to our pan. And be careful when you're doing this because we do have the brown sugar. You wanna make sure when you sear this that you keep an eye on it, okay? Because we don't want it to burn. Just a little bit of olive oil going on in there. Ooh, we are smoking on Valentine's Day, aren't we? There we go. Perfect. All right, so we'll put this in our pan. And then this is technique here, it's called pan roasting, because first we'll start it in the pan, get a nice sear on both sides till it's golden brown. So you can see how Gail is, I've already started a set over here. You get that beautiful golden brown on both sides. It's not completely cooked all the way through yet. So we're gonna finish it off in the oven, and that's when you impress your significant other when you say, I pan roasted something for you, and you explain it all. That's how you give the points.
It's all in the
break it down, right?
Yes, 100%.
These look great, they smell delicious.
Yes,
so
they do.
I'm gonna remove them, right?
Move those over there because we have Daphne's having way too much fun with the cherries over there.
Punching
pitting
it up.
cherries. Now tell us, you say you have a fun and innovative way to do this.
Well, I do. So I'm using this cherry pitter here just to get on through a nice big batch of pitted cherries, which is gonna add a nice little bit of sweetness and freshness and zing to this dish, and a bit of red, which I have to say in my family, it was always tradition to have we always had Valentine's Day dinner as a family. The kids were involved, and my mom always made it really fun for us. Everything was pink or red. So we had like beets to start. We would have either roasted salmon or smoked salmon. Dessert was like a red velvet cake, strawberries, whipped cream. So a lot of fun. This is interesting. If you don't have this cherry pitter that I was just using, you can actually take a sturdy straw like so and get a nice, gorgeous berry, juicy berry, and just press your straw right through, and you'll punch out the seed, and there you have a beautifully pitted cherry seed on the outside.
Oh, that's good. That's easy.
Right?
Anybody can
Nice
do
and
that.
I like it. Okay, while you're pitting the cherries, I'm gonna start the sauce. So we have all those beautiful brown bits, the rub residue that was from searing your pork chops, right? And I'm adding some butter here. Now you give me direction.
All right, so
Tamika.
butter melts down. We'll add in some fresh thyme, some thinly sliced shallots, and then we'll add in the cherries. So you're getting a lot of different notes here. We have the warmth from the spices with the chocolate and the cinnamon, and then the sweetness, but it's still a little tart with the cherries. All right.
Is that enough cherries for you? I feel like I pitted like the tree.
Yeah, that's good.
You're
That's
gonna eat all
good.
of those later. And then, so as you kind of coat all of that flavor that we had from the pork chops, I'm gonna go in with some chicken broth and deglaze the pan. So that's gonna pull all of that flavor out the bottom there as the butter keeps melting. A little bit. Got it? Good. So yeah, and the cherries will start to soften just a little bit, and as the moisture and the sweetness begin to extract, you're then going to create a sauce.
Do you guys have
It's
any
so good.
like worst date memories or best date memories?
Oh gosh, my single days were so horrible. I don't even want to think about it. Oh, I had the worst day. It was like the worst guys in America would find me. It was horrible. Oh no. I tell my husband, I'm like, we staying together forever because I'm never going back out there. And God, I can't do the single life anymore.
That looks beautiful, by the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you just nestle them right on top because, remember I told you, they're not all the way done. We're pan roasting them, sear them on the outside. We're gonna put this in the oven.
Do you need a pot holder for that?
No, I've got hands of steel. It's totally okay.
Goes.
We're gonna put this in the oven. Bottom oven going in here. So as, that one's not too hot, but I will take it for this because it's fresh and hot out of the oven. Now, this is what love is all about.
Wow.
Looky, looky. Oh, nice golden brown color on the pork chops. And you can, the thing with pork chops are a little tricky. I think people get scared if they see a little bit of pink on the inside. That's totally okay because it's not chicken.
It's beautiful. Oh, look at this. Do you see this beautiful piece of
This is
juicy
perfectly cooked.
pork?
It's a nice way to keep the chocolate theme going. For
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire
Well, the
meal.
rub really makes
Yeah,
a difference
that
too.
little-
That seasoning is
That
delicious.
cocoa rub on the outside with the chocolate, the cocoa powder. It's a nice little
That's a
chocolate
good,
day, isn't
good
it?
way to move that chocolate. And by the way, people do forget that chocolate has, you know, the chocolate you're used to eating has sugar added to it, but the cocoa by itself just has a wonderful earthiness to it, does have that smokiness almost quality. It's going to be delicious when I put this in my mouth, but I want to ask you a question first. I have a really fun Valentine's Day quiz for you guys to play.
Oh.
Okay, here's the question. Who do you think spends the most on V-Day gifts? Is it A, Gen Z, B, Millennials, C, Gen X, or D, Baby Boomers? What do you think?
I think baby boomers, maybe? Yeah, I think
Boomers?
baby boomers. I think they're
getting
old school.
boomers?
They're a little more romantic.
I would say Gen, I don't know, I'm thinking Gen X.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
saying
here's the
baby
answer.
boomers.
Look at this. This is
Gen
crazy.
X.
This was
Gen
amazing.
X,
to
really?
By like a factor of 3. I mean, look, Gen X, 40 to 55-year-olds spend an average of $293 on their significant others on Valentine's Day. Meanwhile, wait, go back to that graph for 1 second. We got to analyze the data here. Baby boomers, 56 to 74, 55 bucks. They're like, yeah, we've been together for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm
they
over
don't
this.
care anymore.
You're still with me. You don't even care about
The
this.
funny is that Gen Z doesn't care either.
Gen Z aren't
All
dating
things
anybody.
considered.
They're buying themselves something nice.
Fine, good.
Okay, I know when I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s, my husband better spend a little bit more than $55 on my gift. Okay? We're 60 years together. I want a little bit more than that.
Jamaica, this is delicious.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so good.
Somebody's getting pregnant out of this dish, I'm telling you. Watch out, Daphne.
That doesn't cost a thing. I will come out. Okay. All right, you guys, up next, former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay is here dishing on the reality of how she keeps the spark alive in her marriage. Don't go away.
Better to spend Valentine's Day within a strong, cool, and fearless Bachelorette who fell in love right before our very eyes. It's been a few years since Rachel Lindsay met and married one of the Bachelor contestants on the show, Brian Abasolo. And as the first Black woman to be named Bachelorette in the franchise history, she's joining us today to talk about married life and how she stayed true to herself. Welcome via Zoom from her home office, Rachel Lindsay.
Hello.
Hey.
That is quite the introduction. Thank you so much.
You are quite a lady.
We're happy to have you here from your home office. Very exciting. We were talking the other day about how fun it is to like peer into people's Zooms. Like, what's going on behind there? I'm looking on the shelves.
We're all
It's
in.
nice. You win for
you.
Zoom background of the week.
Definitely. So look, you met and married your husband, Brian, on The Bachelorette. You are celebrating 2 years of marriage. What do you do for Valentine's Day? Is it still like newlywed time? What's the deal?
So here's the thing. I've never been a fan of Valentine's Day until I met Brian. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's truly the truth. Brian is more of the romantic person in our relationship. And so his birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. So it's kind of like a twofer. So we definitely try to do something to celebrate something that he enjoys, a new experience. Like we're all into the day now. It's a thing.
So your new book, Miss Me With That, Hot Takes, Helpful Tidbits, and a Few Hard Truths, was named as one of the most anticipated books of the year by Essence Magazine. Congratulations. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much.
Will you tell us about this title? What does it mean?
So, yes, Miss Me With That is something I say in everyday conversation. And I wanted my readers, or even people who don't know me that well, to say, okay, this is going to be a little bit more of a casual side of Rachel. You see me button up, professional, whether it's on Extra or my podcast. And I wanted people to feel like they're sitting down, they can hear my voice. I'm talking to them like they're one of my girls or guys or whatever it may be. And it's a phrase that I use all the time. And you'll see that as a through line throughout the book. I'm telling you all the things that you can miss me with. Friendship, intrusiveness, Bachelor Nation at times, maybe politics. It's really fun to see the way that the title goes throughout the book.
Yeah, I love the title. I think it's so fun. And I think when you say it, you should also do a fair hair flip, like miss me on that, okay?
Done.
There you go. I knew you had it in you. Now, explain to us, because you left the Bachelor franchise, and I don't really think people realize like the immense pressure you went through as the first Black lead on the show. Like, break it down for us, please.
Yeah, I didn't realize the pressure. And there was a moment on the show where I break down and I'm crying, and it's captured on camera. And I say, you have no idea what it is to be me. You have no idea the pressure that I'm going through, because of course it's such an honor to be the first in anything. But there's also another side to it where people are watching you. They've never seen someone like you in this position before. So some people might be rooting for you in a good way. Some people are rooting for you as well. Some people just want to judge you. And that can be a lot. And a lot of times on the show, I was by myself. There was no one who looked like me, who could understand my experience. And that became difficult too. I was navigating the journey for love, but I was also educating them on the Black experience at the same time.
I can totally identify with that, because you said in the book, like, you feel like a social experiment sometimes.
Oh, yes, I definitely did. It was, kind of like a unicorn in some ways. It was like, well, oh, we've never seen that before. Or please, that's fascinating. Tell us more. And I'm like, of course it's fascinating, this storyline. You've never had a person of color in this position. So of course, new things are going to pop up. They thought it was fascinating. Sometimes for me, it was very triggering. And I tried to explain that, but there was no one to back me up, because there was no one who got me in that world.
Well, thankfully, there was Brian, who came into your life. You met and clicked on the very first episode of the show, which was beautiful to see. And when you presented him with the first impression rose, how did you know he was going to be the one?
From the moment I met Brian, you can see it. And I love that moment is forever captured, so that we can always go back to the first time we met. And we just had a vibe. There was an energy between us. We're almost finishing each other's sentences. Of course, I was attracted to him, but then the energy between us, I thought, I want to get inside. I want to talk to him. I want to get to know more about him. And from that conversation to the conversation we had later in the house, and then that kiss, I was like, first impression was him. Definitely.
When you know, you know. And that's incredible. I love it. You said, contrary to popular belief, that the best gift you ever received was not your wedding ring, but the permission you gave yourself to be imperfect. So tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so a lot of what I talk about in the book is that I turned 30 and I started asking myself the question, whose life is it that you're living? You're constantly doing what you were groomed to do, what you're supposed to do, what pleases your family, your friends, even your coworkers. What does Rachel want? What's going to make Rachel happy? I was doing everything I said I was going to do. I was checking all the boxes, but I didn't feel fulfilled. It's so rewarding to do things that I'm passionate about and with purpose. And the moment that I gave myself the freedom to do that, that's the best gift that I could give myself, because that's how I function in everyday life. And I feel like a lot of people, whether you're a fan of the show or not, will be able to relate to that message.
Just to underline that, because I read this in the introduction in your book, and I thought it was like such a powerful and succinct way to say it. I'm just going to say it here. If I'm pursuing what I truly want in the moment, I'm not chasing a dream, I'm living it. I thought that was really, like, I can so identify with the feeling of like ticking all the boxes, having a plan, going through the paces of it, and forgetting along the way which part of it is that is you wanting something or you doing it for, you know, your fulfillment, your pleasure, your aspirations versus what you think other people want and expect. So bravo, really amazing. Let's talk about your home life for 1 second, because you have been married 2 years. We're all married a little longer than this, and I'm so curious, who is the cook in your household?
Well, that's a great question. We eat separately, not like we eat together, but we make our food separately. Brian is always on some keto, high carb, diet. He's, if you follow him on social media, you can see he's very particular about, his physical fitness and wellness and all of that. I order a lot. And so when I do cook, it's always a surprise. And so that's something nice that we'll do. I'm like, you know what? It's Thanksgiving. I'm going to make a meal for you. It's your birthday. I'm going to make a meal for you. So that keeps things a little spicy too.
Very good. I love it. Well, sometime we'll hope to have you in studio with us, and we will show you some other yummy dishes to whip out on those days when you're looking to just surprise him.
Help.
Okay. Up next, a yummy treat with salami that's salty and chocolate that's sweet. We are talking to Rachel Lindsay, so don't leave your seat. Oh, I like that. I know. I love it.
We're back with Rachel Lindsay, new author and former Bachelorette. Now, Rachel, for all the single people out there, what is your #1 piece of advice to give?
Ooh, I would say communication is the biggest thing. You've got to be able to communicate with your significant other, even when it's hard. I am a person, if you know anything about me, I'm like right up front at the very beginning. Brian communicates a little bit in a different way, but learning how each other communicate, how they receive information, it's so key in a relationship. So maybe that sounds basic, but definitely that. If I had to add one more, I would say sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
What do you mean?
So Brian and I have had to sacrifice a lot as far as like picking up and moving across the country to support one another. And I think that in a relationship, you have to do that. You're two people coming together as one, and you have to be selfless in it. And that can be difficult at sometimes, but you have to see the bigger picture. And for us, we've made moves that are, for the greater good of our future family.
Right. So being open to communication, being open to making sacrifices for someone you love. Yeah. I like it. It's a great message.
Okay, a lot of us, speaking of good communication and sacrifice and knowing yourself, will be trying to squeeze in a date night tonight in between kids and work and everything else we have going on. So we have a really fast and easy idea to enjoy a lovely Valentine's Day at home. No reservations required. It is a salty and sweet chocolate cheeseboard with a little floral flair. And Rachel, I have one question for you before we get going. Will you accept this salami rose?
I'm usually done with roses, but a salami one, I will take.
Oh, yes.
Right, that's the right answer. The salami rose is the only rose.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Perfect answer. All right.
And there's no thorns on this one. It's stemless. So you're really good.
Perfect.
We got the right roses for you. So, and this is very, very easy to make. So we're starting off with thinly sliced salami. And when you do it at home, make sure it's room temperature, because you need it to, those oils to be released, the fats in there, because we're going to stick it to this glass that we have here. Now, I have spread 4 slices down. Wherever you're going to place your rolls, you put a flat basis of like 4 slices down, just to have it as a nice flat base, and then you start building, okay? So you'll just take slices of salami and press them hard around the rim of the glass. Really make sure you stick it on there, and that's what releasing those fats off of your salami will do. And you can do any type of fatty, thinly sliced meat. We've done prosciutto, pepperoni might work, and you just kind of overlap them a little bit. And it's really about making sure you press. There you go, Rachel.
Rachel, I really love that you're doing this along with us from home.
Oh, Brian is going to love this.
Talking of aphrodisiacs, you're gonna smell like salami when
Yes.
he rolls up. So he's a keto guy. This is really gonna work for
I
you.
hope he's ready.
He better take it and like it.
Well, that's one way to keep it spicy. That's another tip for you.
Prosciutto.
All right, and then once you do one layer, you come with another layer overlapping on top of that, and it's really, once again, pressing them together firmly because you want your salami rose petals, if you will, to stick together, okay? And you can go another layer if you like. We'll just do 2 for now. All right, so make sure you press to hold it together. And then you turn your wine glass over and put it in the base of your hand. You've seen these on the internet before. You see how perfect that comes out? Did yours come out there?
Oh, this
Can't
is
lose
so cool.
See, it's easy.
Oh, wait, one of mine didn't go.
There you go.
Okay.
And when you put it on your board, you have this nice little base so you can eat around it and just keep picking away. There you go, girl. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Rachel, bravo, my darling. Bravo.
Yeah, here we go.
And you can even chill it in the refrigerator a little longer so it can, the fat can kind of firm up. So make sure it definitely stays together. But doesn't matter. We're already eating it, so it was perfect.
Maybe I'm so fancy. Love this.
A little sweet, a little salty.
I think when added to a cheese and chocolate board, salami roses are the perfect marriage between salty and sweet. Make sure to check out Rachel Lindsay's debut book, Miss Me With That. And coming up, food-themed version of the dating game where 3 men vie for the love of a woman.
Love is in the air, and we all know the way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. That's how I got my man. So we came up with this fun food dating game called Date My Dish. Ooh. Now, it's just like the old dating game, but in this version, our single lady will choose a suitor based on the dishes they've cooked, and the winner will accompany her on a dream date. Daphne is with our single contestant, Elizabeth.
Exciting. This is going to be fun. Elizabeth, tell us what you're looking for in your perfect guy.
So I'm looking for someone who knows their way around the kitchen,
Right.
and knows how to make a dish that's unique to them.
Unique to them. And what kind of dish would impress you?
Something simple but romantic, and it has to have a meaning behind it.
Okay, a good story to go with your dish. I like this.
Okay, the lady knows what she wants. All right, so let's meet our 3 dishy dudes who are with Gail.
Hi. Hello to all of you. Thanks for being here. They are ready to compete for Elizabeth's heart with their dishes. Okay, Serenity, let's reveal your dish.
Yes, so today I made steak and peppers with rice over gravy. It's definitely my dish whenever I want to impress someone. I first started cooking in high school for my mom. She used to work a lot, so when she got home, I would try to make something for her just so that she could have something to eat, and she loved it.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, Elizabeth is over here tasting it. What do you think of Serenity's dish?
I'm not big on steak, but this is actually really good.
Do you taste the love?
I do, a little bit. I mean, his mom loved it. I think I do too.
All right, well, you get to ask him one question. So go ahead and pose your question to Serenity.
Okay, so picture this. It's our first date. What type of drink would you pair with this dish?
What type of drink would I pair with the dish? Maybe like some red wine or something like that.
That's classic. Yep, great. All right, moving on.
Hey.
Johnny, let's reveal your dish. Please tell us what you made for our Bachelorette and why you think it'll win her heart.
So I went with something that reminds me also of my mom. She used to make chicken cordon bleu, and I always used to really love it. So I like to do a little something stuffed chicken, because stuffed chicken could be kind of boring. So I actually do a little twist on it where I use prosciutto, spinach, and goat cheese. We'll make something that could be kind of boring, a little fun and spicy. Go ahead, a little surprise and delight. So.
Well, what do you think? Was his dish nice and spicy? Jazzy and spicy? Johnny's jazzy and spicy chicken?
I'm still chewing, sorry. Yeah, actually, it's nice and tender. It reminds me of myself. And I love that the spinach is in here because that's actually my favorite vegetable. So yeah.
Very good. Oh, and she's going back for a second bite. This is very exciting. Very good. Good indication. You do get to ask Johnny one question as well. What do you want to ask him?
Okay, so how would you make our first date extra special?
Ooh, extra special first date. I would do a little recon subtly so you didn't know that I was getting recon, find out a few things that you really like, and then take you out on that date, but not have you realize we were on that date until you were actually in the middle of the date.
Okay, more surprise and delight.
I like a man that does his research, just don't become a stalker, okay? Okay, so it is getting hot in here. We'll be right back with our final bachelor's dish. Will it seal the deal and get the date? Stay with us.
I like it.
Love that music. I love that. All right, we are down to the final round of Date My Dish. Our last dishy dude will present his final dish.
Okay, Matthew, it's your turn. Let's reveal your dish, and please tell us what you made and why you think your dish will steal Elizabeth's heart.
So for Elizabeth today, I made some homemade empanadas. I grew up just making them with my grandma all the time, so I tweaked the recipe a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, like, it's the same thing. I just love sharing my culture with all my friends and my potential love interests, so, you know, hopefully these empanadas, you know, spice up her life just like I will.
Okay.
What's in them?
There's a feisty promise.
Peppers,
I know. Get one.
Some adobo seasoning.
I'm going in on this.
A man who provides for your friends you really want to keep around. What do you think of Matthew's homemade empanadas?
I like it. It's nice and spicy. Again, I called myself tender earlier, but it reminds me of myself too.
Okay, tender and spicy. And of course, you get to ask Matthew one question.
Okay, because I like to keep it spicy, tell me, how spicy do you like your dishes?
Ooh, so I do love spice in my food, because if there isn't a little bit, then I don't know if there's a point to eating it, but that's just me.
This is gonna be a tough choice. Okay, 3 delicious dishes. Are you ready to make a choice?
I think so.
All right.
So.
It is Date My Dish decision time. This pressure's on, okay? So now tell us which dishy dude you've chosen and to go on a date and why.
Well, I like all of them. Like the first one, I like the fact that, you know, I'm not really a steak person, but it kind of changed my ways. The second one, I kind of like the fact that I do love chicken, and it does have my favorite spinach. I mean, my favorite vegetable in it, which is spinach. And I like the fact that how he said he would make our first date. And then I do like spicy. So, you know, it's kind of hard because he seems kind of spicy and the food's spicy too.
That was a good empanada.
It's a good combination. But
He was thoughtful, thinking of his mom
He
providing for her when
was.
she got home from work.
You know, shout out to mom. But I think I'm gonna have to go with number 2.
Oh,
number 2.
Johnny, go meet Elizabeth.
Okay, you get to meet dishy dude number 2.
Wow, there you go.
I like that choice. Okay.
Elizabeth meet Johnny, Johnny meet Elizabeth. Very
Ooh.
ex- And you're winning delicious stuffed chicken breast.
Thank you.
I mean,
How do you feel about being selected?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's always good when you get to meet someone new and you don't know what to expect and, you know, what can come from it no matter how it goes. So it's pretty exciting. And she likes my food. So
likes your
we're
food.
off to a good start.
Are you excited for your first date?
I am. See how well he gets it together.
Ooh, I mean, this is
little research.
Got
a
some
good-looking
research
couple
for you, I
and some
think.
good-looking chicken. All right, so you guys, in honor of the Good Dish Chocolate Show, we're sending the 2 of you on a date to the decadent Max Brenner restaurant in New York City, known for its chocolatey creations.
Thank you.
Nice. Now, stick around to get all the recipes we featured on today's show. Up next.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the Good Dish. We are snacking and laughing. We are having a good old time, aren't we?
Never enough chocolate.
Or cheese, or crackers, or chocolate.
Never. And I mean, I am a lover of Valentine's Day. I have to tell you all about my Valentine's Day gifts. My husband, he's such a jokester. I can't say it's the best gift, but it's funny because when we were trying to get pregnant years ago with my first daughter, I gave him as a gift pregnancy test on Valentine's Day. So he was like, he loved that gift.
That's when he found out, or
That's
that
how,
he knew?
that was how he found out when I gave him the positive test that said pregnant, right? But now he does it as a running joke. Every year after that, it's like a pregnancy test. He'll give it to me as a gift that says feeling lucky. And I'm like, we have 2 kids now, and he still does it. But it's like they will pop up out of random places. I'm just, no, a pregnancy test. I look in the cabinet, there's a pregnancy. I'm like, stop with this pregnancy. You are not getting any more kids out of me. Like, it's not even funny anymore.
Just open random cupboards and there's a pregnancy test.
But he gets a kick out of it. So yeah, pregnancy test. I know what I'm getting every year. I just don't know where it's gonna appear, but I know I'm getting it.
So romantic.
He's so silly. That's the problem.
You know, I like a man who can keep the joke running, though. You know, like, don't let it die. Don't.
I mean, it cracks him up he's like, oh, I got you. I'm like, oh, you got me. There you go.
We gotta think of something good to give him back. I don't know what we're gonna think of something good.
Maybe he thinks that he'll just wear you down eventually. You'll be like, fine, we'll have another one.
That's not happening in this factory, but whatever, okay.
Factory's closed. Okay, good.
Understood.
Well, I admire his persistence. Well done, well done. All right, good. All right, to get access to the good list for all things chocolate that you saw on today's show, except for it all over my face, which will not come straight to your phone, just hold your camera to the screen for the QR code. You will find recipes and step-by-step videos for all things chocolate, including what's for dinner, our cocoa rubbed pork chops, delicious. You can also head to gooddishtv.com and get it all there.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for more good food and more good dish.
Bye, guys.